Vanny, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone! I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
No one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle.
You can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Lord, you can imagine where it goes from here.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Zedos Game Podcast. I am Joseph Buchanan. Been out for quite a few months, I think. It's been a month or over a month. Yeah,
about 6 weeks.
Yeah, been out for a while. My partner in crime, Mr. Allari, has been helping out with this, and I thank you very much for doing that.
It's cool, man.
It's been interesting few months. There's a lot of things going on in the background. I want to get this as a visual podcast soon, and depending on how it goes, it will go that way. But yeah, that's what I'm looking to do in the future. So that's what I've been working in the background, and I've been doing other bits and pieces as well. So that's why I've not been around. But again, Mr. Allari, thank you for helping me out with that, and all the others that participated in the podcast in the last few weeks that have helped you talk about films, namely Leo and Dave. Is it Dave? David, the Oriental dude.
Oh no, that's Peter.
Peter, all right.
That's Peter.
Sorry, Peter.
Mr. Peter PFL.
PFL.
And that's his channel.
Oh, okay, PFL. Okay, I didn't know that.
Go check it out for movie news and reviews. Well, not news. It's more reviews and stuff. He's quite on the ball with the reviews, to be quite honest, because he works at cinema, so he watches it, and then the minute he watches it, he's like, bam, straight on the internet with the reviews, man. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yes, again, thank you to all those guys even, and we'll get straight into it. News stuff. We were talking before the podcast started. We were talking about Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott, what's he done now? What have you done, Ridley?
Well, from what we were talking about, it was to do with this. He's got another idea for Blade Runner, and I really liked Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, me too.
But unfortunately, it just didn't hit people. It didn't hit the box office it didn't hit the box office with lightning. But quality is quality, and I think over time it'll be seen like the first Blade Runner as a classic.
Well, this is just it. I mean, like, it's up for loads of awards at the Oscars and stuff, the Academy Awards and the Oscars at the moment. Like, it's a contender out there.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that pans out, because depending what awards it's being subjected for, we may see a slight re-release. Just because.
For the after awards push or before the awards push. And
surely the buzz from like general public of it actually being good will probably prop it up.
Yeah, help it out a little bit.
I mean, it bombed pretty hard. It was one of the biggest bombs of the year. But how hard did it bomb, though? I mean,
I think it's in terms of what the box office is now. Its return should have been. Plus its what it
marketing costs, yeah.
Plus it was,
I mean, like, it cost 150 million to make. Worldwide, it brought in 258 million.
Mm-hmm.
So, domestically in the States, that was 91 million.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't didn't break even in the States for that worldwide gross to be a profit.
Yeah.
So if there was a re-release, depends on, you know, mainly that domestic gross, you know, with a potential re-release for the Oscar season, how well it does there. You know what I mean? Like 91 million ahead of the games domestically, that doesn't sound so bad. Can it make 100 million? I doubt it, because that would probably save it.
What are you talking about? Blade Runner?
Blade Runner, yeah, because like...
Well, it's out of the cinema now, so...
No, but if they did a re-release.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
If they did a re-release.
Well, they would have to get in a lot of theatres for it to do that.
I don't see that happening, though, personally. Not the re-release, but them getting it into a lot of theatres, you know. And plus, it's an R as well. It's 18 as well in the UK. So, it you know what I mean? That's a limited audience kind of thing. So, deck is stacked against it, money-wise, if so. In terms of studios greenlighting another one, financially, it doesn't make sense unless you've got... Unless it was a case of there's a tax write-off and they just got some money they need to get rid of, and they're like, hey, Blade Runner. You know, that's the only other reason I could think of, because, you know, you get like movies that get made, you know, due to stuff like that. And it would also depend on how quickly and how cheaply Ridley Scott would want to make this movie. You know what I mean? And, you know, he's the kind of director where he will bring the film under budget if he's going to direct it. I don't see him directing this. I see him hiring someone else out, just like he did before. I personally don't see Denis Villeneuve coming back.
No, I don't think it'll be him
He's
either.
done his masterpiece. He's probably not that keen on coming back. And to be quite honest, I think if they get someone else new, that would probably be a really good idea. Do I want another Blade Runner film? Not really. I like Blade Runner. Look, I said this like way before. I fundamentally disagreed with them even making a sequel. Now that sequel has come, that sequel was fantastic. You know, but it's kind of like, that's lightning striking twice. I love Blade Runner. I don't want a shit one. So, you know, it's a blessing in disguise that, you know, these films can be word of mouth classics, just like they have been for years. But, you know, if they do another one, we'll see, I guess. Whether Ford will be back is to be debatable. I mean, I guess he could.
I don't think Ford being in the next one is particularly necessary.
True. But you got to understand, that was one of big sells.
Yeah, but I mean, spoiler, he showed up like how many hours into the movie?
Yeah, probably about an hour and a half in.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of dialogue with him, but I mean, he's essentially a supporting character.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And that's all that's basically all you really need him to be. You know, they could probably get him back, and like even Ryan Gosling as well. But I do think if they do a third one, I'd like a new lead. Not that I have anything against Ryan Gosling. I think it just kind of works in terms of the films.
Yeah.
And considering that he's not, spoilers, a Blade Runner anymore at the end of 2049, you know, having a new Blade Runner and change the noir genre on its head with a new character would be interesting. So we'd have to see. Yeah. Rather than make it Ryan Gosling's character again. I mean, like, he was a great character, but do you know what I mean? I think his story was told there, if that makes sense. And I think you have a new... You know what? They want to crack the Japan market, get an Oriental lead.
Chinese
market, get Oriental lead. I think that'd be interesting. And probably get him some dollar.
I guess. But I don't think... I think a film should stand on its own without having... a particular race in the film to sell it to a country. A film should stand on its own. If a character is necessary, and if that character's so-called origin is necessary to the plot, then fair enough. But just like in the Transformers film, when they were selling those films to China, it was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Why is it over here?
That wasn't necessary.
Yeah. And so Yeah, I've got no problem with doing that. But in terms of there being a sequel, I'm up for it. But yeah, I guess it's up to Sony and whatever other studio put money into it.
I guess Jared Leto could come back. I mean, he's still out there.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's still out there. He didn't die or anything.
He was
woman did.
He was a fascinating character in that.
He was.
Real
I like the archetype of him in the original copped it. He still lives, so I would actually expect him to be back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, whatever happens with it, I think we'll find out after the Oscar run. Because if it does well there and it gets re-released and it makes a little bit more bank, that pushes it over. Okay, well, we see we marketed this wrong.
Yeah.
And
I think Scott needs to bring. I don't know how all the money in the world going to do how it's doing in the box office, but
because of the controversy around it, I think people have. A spotlight on it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh wow. Okay, so this guy was in it, and now this guy's in it.
Yeah.
And okay.
But at the same time, I think a hit for Scott is exactly what he needs to pursue these projects that he's passionate about. Because this is the thing. I mean, like take the Alien franchise for example. That is almost dead. Financially wise,
I don't think so.
Completely gone.
I don't think. I just think people he got put into the same thing that George Lucas did with the prequels. He had an idea, and then people started talking. Oh, this is an alien. This is an alien. And so he changed his idea from what it was originally to try and comfort the audience, and the audience kind of turned on him. Well, this isn't. I expected the engineers. Why aren't engineers in this? It's all he should have stuck to his guns and just did what he envisioned in the first place, and not falling through, because Prometheus made money. It was Alien Covenant that didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
And so
that's surprising, man. I mean, it didn't really cost like that much to make. I mean, like
it didn't. It made back its. It just made a profit.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, that's right. I mean, like it was 97 million. That's how much it cost.
Yeah,
which is surprising because it looks like it costs more. Visually. And,
but that's what Scott's good at.
I know, but exactly. I mean, like worldwide, it brought in 240 million. 240 million, a little bit, just over that.
Yeah,
and that's worldwide. Domestically,
it didn't.
74.
Yeah, it didn't do that well.
So it didn't do that well domestically, because usually how it is, it's like the same thing with Blade Runner. The minute it makes its budget back domestically, everything else is nothing but a profit for them. They're fine with their marketing costs and whatnot. Once that domestic gross doesn't hit the number that they want, sequels become less of a thing. But as you said, it did make a profit, but only just, which is why they're still, and the other thing is, he's an established director. I mean, he's one of the big guns. So this is something he's passionate about, and quite frankly, something that he's pushing forward. So, for an 80-year-old guy, this guy's a machine. I'm sorry, he is absolutely a machine, man. Yeah. Because like his job is not an easy one, So, the fact that he's still able to make these things and still willing to, what I mean, like he's doing well.
I mean, either way, I mean, Scott was the only one to have the foresight to go back to that point. No one's talked about this thing in the seat.
Yeah,
and because he wanted to make the universe a little bit bigger, I think he succeeded at that, because to a degree we still don't know what engineers are or what they do.
Yeah.
It's made the Alien franchise, in terms of its scope, it's made it from this thing to a bigger universe, which I'm using hand gestures here, which no one can see. But yeah, and as I was saying to you earlier, where Neil Blomkamp wants to go with it, I don't think people will get what they want. It's not going to get, as Luke Skywalker says, this is not going to go how you think it is.
Yeah.
People are so very obsessed with Aliens, the film Aliens, and you're not going to get that again. You can't get that again. Aliens is a one-off. The way back from this, I think, is to totally ignore, to just move away from Newt and Sigourney Weaver's character and tell a different story.
Well, oh no, that's a certain point of view. I mean, like, I personally would like to see that wrapped up in the way that, you know, the audience were kind of promised.
No, people want the Aliens film. I don't think they particularly care about.
No, I think people want a good film with the people that they cared about. That's what they want.
I know, but they're not going to get that.
But that's what the people want.
Sure, I know, but people.
But
just going through what happened with the Star Wars films.
But surely
they're not. Yeah, sure. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you on this. But I know I'm not going to get the film that I want because we all have a different version of where Newt and Ripley ended up.
No, I don't know about that. I would never class Alien in the same vein as Star Wars.
No, I do because
with those characters.
No, because. Okay, a beloved film like Aliens.
Yeah.
And what happened to them in Alien 3? That's very divisive.
Well, I think what happened in Alien 3 was to set it up for another adventure with all three of them. Mm-hmm. That's all anybody wanted at the time.
It's bookended. It's open ended. So
yeah, but hear me out. I mean, like people they fell in love with those characters in that movie. Mm-hmm. They wanted them back. So to have them killed off from the get-go was kind of like almost kind of a betrayal to what people expected and wanted.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, you know, an argument can be weighed, like, give the people what they want. They want these characters in the next one, give them. Mm-hmm. Just make a decent movie. Mm-hmm. Okay? It doesn't have to be like Aliens. People just want to have the characters that they grew up with in another adventure. You know what I mean? That's where it goes with Alien. In terms of Star Wars, which you tried to use an example of, that's a different kettle.
No, I did use an example of.
No, I said tried because it's a different kettle of fish. You see, characters like Luke, Han and Leia, there wasn't a hype of an expectation for Newt and what's the other character called? Hicks and Ripley. There wasn't that much expectation for having them back. You know what I mean? Like in another Alien film because they were killed off. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Blomkamp's ignited some interest, but there's no one's clamoring up for another Alien with them in. People are like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because the general consensus for Aliens is like, if it's good, I'll watch it, but no one cares. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now, with Star Wars, people have been looking forward for these characters doing other shit for 20 years. Mm-hmm. That's a different level of expectation. Mm-hmm. Okay? But that's more so.
I get that.
To the point where when you get a character like Luke Skywalker, spoilers, guys, I'm going to say spoilers, you kind of want something special to happen. Mm-hmm. You want to have your cake and eat it. Mm-hmm. That's like me going into Infinity War now, and Thanos gets murked in the opening.
That'd be awesome.
No, like literally in the opening. He gets defeated in the opening, and it's some next guy now.
I can honestly tell you, if that happens, I would never have seen that coming.
You would never have seen that coming, but people would be pissed.
Sure.
I'd be pissed.
It would be original, though. I would never have seen that coming. Whoa, that guy just killed Thanos. I did not see that coming.
No, but like I'm using that as an example.
I see where you're going.
Because they've built it up. You know what I mean? They have constructively built it up to that point. And that's the whole point of expectation. Mm-hmm. Etc. You bring in the Marvel movies as an example, they know their expectations. You know what I mean? They know how to manage it, micromanage it, and they've delivered in spades to their audience because they know who their audience are. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think a lot, when it comes to Alien, it's kind of like Scott wanted to do another science fiction movie. Mm-hmm. Fox wanted to do an Aliens movie. and this goes back to Prometheus. I think Scott really wanted to do this other science fiction movie, and the only way to make it was to have a connect with the alien universe. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think he should. I agree with you. He should have just stuck to his guns. In terms of Blomkamp doing another Alien film, I'm for it, mainly because no one gives a shit about Alien. You know what I mean? Quite frankly, no one gives a shit. The box office numbers show that. If Blomkamp made his Alien and it was good and it was great, then so be it. You know what I mean? He did it. He closed. Hear me out. He closes the story of Ripley. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if it's good, peace, justice, whatever. If it's shit, no one will care. No one will care. You know what I mean?
All I was going to do was adjust your phrase. I don't think it's no one cares about Alien. It's limited. The
interest.
It's a niche. It's a niche.
Yeah.
This type of sci-fi is quite niche.
Yeah.
But it's the only. This type of franchise has pushed that niche into a wider audience, in the sense that, look, if you go to Alien 1 and Aliens did better than Alien, but none of those films particularly did financially well.
Yeah.
And so Prometheus is the only one out of all of them that pushed past that 400 million barrier. And so my point is that people like the niche audience like the mythology, but the people that know what they know is aliens.
Yeah.
And so they wanted aliens. Oh, was aliens? I thought this was going to be aliens. Oh, there's no aliens in this. There's no guns in this. There's no. The wider market wanted to see what they saw before, and that's what I got from coming out of Prometheus, and then going into Covenant. I knew what I wanted from Covenant, and the way they marketed Covenant was to the people that like aliens, and neither of those markets got either one.
I still think they should have called it Paradise.
Oh yeah, I should have. I think that was the way to go.
Yeah, I think that was. I think you know, Fox got money hungry because they wanted, you know, they wanted to associate it with a brand. You know, I mean, even if they called it Covenant, that would have been that would have made sense, kind of thing. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, like, you know, but I mean, you know, this guy's a busy guy. I mean, he's got like...
Yeah, what's this Disney one that he wants to do?
So there's a series of Merlin books, so young Merlin books, where Merlin came from. That's a series of kids' books that's been doing well over the years. There's like about 12 of them or something like that. And it's literally like him as a boy wizard. Not quite Harry Potter, but it's about how he gets to be, you know, where he goes, etc. And like the lessons he learns and stuff. Because the thing is about Merlin, with these books and Merlin as a character, is that he is an all-powerful wizard, but he loves humanity. You know what I mean? Otherwise he wouldn't be helping out King Arthur and stuff, you know? So it's literally about how he learns to live amongst humans and stuff with the abilities that he has, and how he, you know, kind of like a superhero kind of thing, like how he finds his powers, or how he, you know, becomes as powerful as he is, etc. I've not read the books, but that's based on what I've looked up, kind of thing. Because there was a interview with the author of the books, and you know, he was just talking about, you know, how he saw it and where the idea came from and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting to me. It's a very Walt Disney concept, if that makes sense, because, you know, it's the kind of thing Disney would lap up. And it also sounds like it could be a potential brand new kind of franchise that's very akin to Harry Potter, but using Merlin and Arthurian legends and stuff out there. I know we've had a lot of Arthurian legends and stuff adapted to the silver screen over the past couple of years and stuff, and they haven't done so well. Most recently Guy Ritchie did one, etc. But you know what? Like, there's always a market for Arthurian tales, and if these books are quite relevant to young children today, hopefully it'll do well. And if you've got a name like Scott, who's he's quite respectable as a director, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get this down. You know, give it some kind of gravitas rather than it be like a straight. You know what I mean? like something just churned out for the money here. Because the one thing I'd say about Scott is that he takes all his projects seriously, you know?
Yeah.
So he must have had like an interest in it to be able, for him to be able to say, right, I'm actually going to direct this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's ideally what I find interesting about this. So, and if it works out, there's 12 more novels and stuff, and he doesn't have to direct them. He'll probably just produce them, keep his name on as a producer, and hire the best best directors for the job under Scott Free, and he'll probably go off and do other stuff like he normally does. It's just another franchise for him, like Blade Runner and Alien. But yeah.
Well, whatever he's doing, he's got like I think 3 or 4 films on the. He's doing this Battle of Britain film.
Yeah.
That he's due to shoot this year, I think. He's still in talks with Disney or Fox, whatever they call themselves now, for this Alien sequel. Prometheus sequel, whatever they're calling it.
I think they should call it. What's Michael Fassbender's robot?
David.
They should just call it David.
I think it's supposed to be called Awakening.
Oh, okay. I think they should just call it David, because you know what, yeah? I would love to see a spin-off film just about David. I'm not going to lie. But despite what you think about both of those films...
No, I like both of those films.
No, but I'm talking about general audience
kind
of thing. Despite what you think about both of those films, you cannot deny he's a very interesting character. He's the most interesting thing about those films, for me.
Considering what the basis of those first, especially Prometheus, is about, it's just about the slave becoming the master in a sense that he's AI, and throughout that whole first film, he's following this guy that's telling him what to do. He doesn't care he just doesn't care about him in any way whatsoever. And then he's free from that, and then he becomes the master because all of his experimenting in that first film. Yeah. It's even more evident in the second one how he's a manipulator and how AI is dangerous. Yeah. So I don't know. That's one of the things I found fascinating about that. Anyway, I don't think that's everyone's cup of tea, but I agree with you on that. I would like to, and I think that's what Scott wanted to do anyway. Yeah. I don't know how he'll backdoor it into the first Alien film, but you're supposed to see at the end of this next Alien film, the Nostromo coming out of the finding the signal, and so that's what that last film is supposed to be about. So I hope we get to see that. Okay, so what else Solo.
What about it?
It's insiders have been saying that Disney are lining up for a they don't think it's going to do as well as they think it is, and they're lining up for a loss.
I think that's mainly because of loads of factors here. I think one, it's the movie that they, a lot of the hardcore fans and stuff don't want. Even like people that have only just got into it recently as well. I've got a lot of friends that are Star Wars fans from The Force Awakens. Even the prequel era, and they're like, do we really need a Han Solo movie? Because I've said this before in this podcast, like, we've already seen young Han Solo, that's Harrison Ford. It's not a case of going back. It's like, one of my friends actually even said it, because he only just found out they were even making a movie, saying, do we really need the backstory for Han Solo? Can't he just be this cool guy that just joined up? You know what I mean? Like, does everyone need a backstory? Are we going to get a Luke Skywalker movie about what he was doing on the damn island? It's like, we're not. You know what I mean? We're not going to get any of those things, So why do we need one? I mean, like, we don't even need a Luke Skywalker movie because we got young Luke Skywalker unless we have him as a 4-year-old.
Well, I'll go back to what John Campea says about films. You don't need any film.
That's true. But I mean, like, do you see what I mean? Like audience expectations and stuff, and people have been quite vocal about it online and stuff. And then you've also got the whole controversies of what's gone on behind the scene, kind of thing, which has kind of put off people a lot. But to be quite honest, it's kind of made that controversy behind the scenes and what it's become now has made me more interested to see it. But that's just me personally, because I like and respect Ron Howard, if that makes sense. I think since Ron Howard has taken control of the ship, I think he's actually writing the course, and I think this might be, and this is me who's been like, yeah, fuck this movie, but since Ron Howard's taken control, he's like kind of been the reassurer, you know what I mean, and like the stuff that he's shown us has kind of been stuff that I'm like, okay, I'm listening, but do you know what I mean? Optimistically cautious is where I'm at with this movie. And the other thing is, with the state of what's happened, depending on people's views of The Last Jedi, which has kind of left audiences split down the center with it, people's expectations on these future Star Wars movies are kind of amiss, so I think I mean like we need, the thing about The Force Awakens was the fact that we didn't have Star Wars for a long time. Maybe the audience need to be hungry for it again, than one every year. But we'll see. I mean, like, I think Disney are managing their personal expectations for it, which is a good thing. I think that's a good thing, because if it makes a certain amount of money, as long as it makes enough to cover marketing costs and give them a healthy profit, then that's fine for them financially. Do you know what I mean? But I think they're bracing themselves just in case, because I don't think they expected the backlash with The Last Jedi. I think they actually thought, yeah, we've made a sick movie. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to love it, because whoever's at their camp, you know what I mean, have loved it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
So this brings me to going forward with the films now, the standalone films, they're clearly going to do an Obi-Wan film, and then after that, where do they go from there?
But are they? Yeah. It's not been officially announced.
I know, but it's
but what if they never announce it? It's a possibility.
It is.
We're all assuming that they're doing one, but this is the thing. Also, on the contrary of stuff, we are all, even yourself just now, you went for Obi-Wan straight away.
Yeah, but I didn't finish my question.
No, but I'm trying to. Okay, go on. Okay. Finish your question.
Because the reason why I asked for what, let's say it is Obi-Wan, and after that, where did they go from there? I mean, because for me, it's a blank sheet. I don't know. Well, what could you do in that universe?
There's loads of stuff.
I know, but what could you do? There's a Seventh Samurai one that people were talking about, like just like a whole bunch of rogue Jedi's. There's the similar story to Seventh Samurai. Or a kind of a Western version of a Star Wars film, or like what was that game, 1313?
Yeah.
Do like something on Coruscant where it's just to do with mob, the mob and drug dealers.
That was supposed to be a TV series.
Yeah, sure. But I'm fishing because I see that there's a big universe, but I wouldn't know what to pinpoint on.
You know what I'd say? I'd look at what the fans want, and whatever the popular opinion is, go with that. And what a lot of people are clamouring for, you know what would happen? If they said they were making a movie based on Knights of the Old Republic, people will rejoice. People will fucking go nuts. They will lose your mind. You'll get the hardcore back. You know what I mean?
The hardcore back?
Well, the people that have been like fans from day one interested again. Because that's the biggest IP... Like, that's the biggest, Star Wars kind of IP, like, from the video games and stuff that people love. And also, it'd bring a new era to Star Wars, because it's set so many, like, a millennia in the past, we've got multiple Sith Lords and multiple, you know what I mean, Jedi Masters. It'll bring a different element, a brand new element to it as well.
Right.
Because then, like the prequels, you'll see Jedi in their primes, but it'll be a different era completely. There'll be no Skywalkers. So, you know what I mean? You'll have new characters. It'll be a brand new thing. You know what I mean? And it'll be based on something that people care about and want to see. That's the way I'd like to see, kind of thing. There are loads of tales I'd like to see with stuff that we have seen before. Like, I'd like to see a Qui-Gon movie set in the pre-prequel era. Personally, do like a Liam Neeson Taken version. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be pretty sick. Learn why he's a grey Jedi. Learn why he never got on the council. Have like him with a kid Padawan who is Obi-Wan Kenobi when he's like, I don't know, like 5 years old or 6 years old, like a kid. Yeah, 8-year-old or whatever. You know what I mean? An 8-year-old Jedi with him. Like, look, kid. You know what I mean? But done like through the eyes of Liam Neeson in the Star Wars universe, being like bringing peace and justice. You know what I mean? Like a sheriff. You know what I mean? Going to different star systems and like, what's going on here? Oh, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And like that would be cool, because then you get to see what the Jedi do from a day-to-day basis. Right. What George envisioned them doing from a day-to-day business kind of thing, you know. I think that would be interesting, because we've seen parts of it in episode 2. You know what I mean? But it'd be like a full movie dedicated to that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then you could have your Samuel Jackson and your Yoda, the big guy with the totem pole head. I forget what his name is, but do you know what I mean? Like, you'd have that council. You know what I mean? And you know,
you actually see Cypher Deus.
Yeah, you could have Cypher Deus in there and see what the fuck he was about. Hell, CGI Christopher Lee back in there. Show that relationship between Qui-Gon and Count Dooku. I know man's dead, but at least have like a nod to have him in a hologram form on the council. You know what I mean? Because hologram's easier to like cheat rather than a physical Christopher Lee there. And then he could be somewhere else, maybe training with Sidious perhaps. You know what I mean? Whatever. He's a hologram on the council kind of thing. And he's just there and he's just like talking to Yoda like, my Padawan will come through. Blah 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 blah, and then have like a quick, and then you could have like a scene where like it cuts to where he actually is and he's with Sidious. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like as a quick Marvel nod or whatever. Obviously, I'm fanboying here, you know, but that's what I do with the Qui-Gon movie kind of thing. But you know, just do it like a detective kind of like thing, or like, you know what I mean, with the Jedi investigating shit that's going down on some planet.
Here's my next question. Do you think, because in my eyes, I don't think this is going to work out, but do you think releasing a Star Wars something every year do you think the audience will get tired of that eventually?
Yeah, definitely. I think it will dilute the experience. It's already starting now. Do you know what I mean? Because the thing is, once you have a bad movie and you've got another, and that's what's going on now with Han Solo, because you know, you have a bad Star Wars movie, you've diluted the expectation now for the next one. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, George had it right, even though he made like those prequels, and fuck it, forget about those prequels, even the original trilogy, we had 3 years to wait for a Star Wars movie. And that was enough time to
build up expectations
again, and like get people's interest back in. You know? One a year, you know, it works to a degree, but if you hit a hurdle or give something that not everyone wants, do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a weird one. If episode 9 was next, that would survive depending on how well that's received, you know. Because everyone at this point, everyone wants to know what the fuck's going on and what you know, what is the outcome. Do you know what I mean? That would probably be better. A Han Solo movie is just filler. You know what I mean? That's just filler because people already know his deal, and if they don't like it, they're just gonna be like, well, fuck. You know what I mean? I'll just see what 9 is, and then I'm done with it. Done with it. Oh, like, and that's just it. They're done with it, as in it. You know? Yeah. Whereas you space them out a little bit more, Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there'll be more anticipation from.
Exactly. I mean, like we can have an Obi-Wan movie because that's a given. People want that. A Boba Fett movie would be good, but there are loads of stuff they could do across different timelines and whatnot. You know what I mean? But I'd say Knights of the Old Republic because it's a case of give the people what they want because people have been waiting for these movies for a really long time. So if they want something, give it to them. It works for Marvel. It should work for Star Wars. You know.
Yeah.
I just think, but at the same time, like you said, what one Star Wars fan might want, you know what I mean? Other people won't. But then, if you did Knights of the Old Republic, you've got a source material. Do you know what I mean? Stick to the source material and you're fine. You know what I mean? So I think that's the problem with comic book movies because stuff that aren't made under Marvel stray too far. Look at DC. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean? Warner Brothers don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's like I looked up BVS and like, did someone that not read a comic book in their life make this? Oh, I think they did. You know?
Yeah.
Sorry, not Zack Snyder, but the people that are behind the scenes, like fucking John Peters. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that guy owns the Superman IP, and he's not read a Superman comic.
Yeah, he's driven Superman into the ground, man.
He's just like a whole fucking case of bad ideas, man. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I feel like I've went on a rant. Hone back, and next subject, I'll let Joe do all the talking.
Oh no! I mean, my job is to just drum up a conversation, and depending on how much you have to say on it, we can go back and forth on it. But okay, the other thing that stuck out to me is this whole Bond thing. Next James Bond could be a woman or a person of color, and that to me, I don't like that. Just let Bond be Bond and create a different character that also in espionage. If you're going to do something with, let's say, Idris Elba, he's already got someone. He's got Luther. You just do something with Luther.
As a black person yourself, Joe, and as a person of colour myself, being Indian, them making Idris Elba as a black James Bond.
I'm not interested in that.
You're not?
No.
Why?
Because I think that Bond has got such a long legacy of being the person that he is. I think they should just let that be and carry on with that.
But you're racist.
No.
I'm being sarcastic. Okay. I'm not saying you are.
And create a different character. That way you'll have a different IP. So if you can make another IP in that same universe, then go for it.
Yeah.
Have Idris be a different agent, a different 00 agent in that same universe. Yeah, I wouldn't say 006, but
yeah, another.
Just another 00 agent.
Here's the thing, okay. I don't really like talking about stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to talk about this ultimately. Okay, this is my stance on stuff like this. Okay, I don't like talking about race and you know what I mean. That I don't like talking about stuff that's going to bring conflict with people and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I'm about let's just chill and be cool.
Oh no, it's not a conflict.
But I'm trying to find the words. I just don't like upsetting people. It's not in my nature.
You're not upsetting anyone.
No, but I'm just explaining here. And you know, I might think a certain way with stuff or whatnot, but I won't broadcast it. You know, I'm trying not to here, but like with race stuff and whatnot, and having lack of female on film and whatnot, etc. Here's the thing: I'm all up for all of that, all of this, and all of that. But let's not make a big song and dance about it. Just do it. If you're gonna make a film with a Oriental guy as the lead, just do it. Just don't say, oh, this is the first Oriental, you know what I mean? The minute you do that, you create the discussion and the backlash. You know what I mean? You release I
don't think creating a discussion about that is negative.
No, it's not. It's well, here's where I've shot myself in the foot without realising it. But I just think I just think like
you just don't like talking about it.
I just don't.
That's fine.
I just don't like to offend people.
You're not offending anyone though.
No, but
if you can't talk about things, then I don't see why we're doing this in the first place at all.
No, but I mean, the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'm getting this right or whatnot, but the point I'm trying to make is it's like there's no. I don't know.
Yeah. Look, you made it very clear a long time ago that you don't like talking about things like this, and I get that. And the only reason I settled on this is because there are other franchises that they could do in that vein. You don't need to change Bond.
I'll give you an example. Like Nick Fury was a white guy.
Yeah.
In a Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
You know, when they did the Ultimate Universe, they turned him into Samuel Jackson. Like literally, that's what they did. The artist looked at a copy of Shaft and just drew Shaft.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And that really bothered me because Nick Fury was a character no one was reading.
Yeah.
No one cared about Nick Fury.
Right.
But the minute they rejuvenated him, they made him cooler, they made him Samuel Jackson, people gave more of a fuck about him.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I think that stuff would work better with secondary characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for example, back on the subject of James Bond, the character of Felix Leiter, okay? Lots of people have watched James Bond over the years. No one knows who Felix Leiter is, even though he's been in quite a lot of James Bond movies. And it's probably because they keep changing the actor every time, you know? But with the Daniel Craig series, they actually made a point of keeping it consistent, and they kept the same actor. I forget the actor they got, but
it's the guy that's in Shaft and in that HBO show.
I forget his name.
I can't remember his name either.
But yeah, they got him. And
he's in Westworld.
Okay, but yeah, they got him, and you know it worked. It worked for those movies. You know what I mean? And no one had a problem with that. You know what I mean? But again, secondary character. You know, James Bond. You know, Bond purists will say, well, in the books he's white. That's the source material. It's almost saying like, let's make Harry Potter black. You know what I mean? People will lose their minds.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is my okay. Look, on the front, people can't see this on this podcast, but what I'm looking in front of me is it's an article saying that the next James Bond could be a woman or a person of colour. Yeah. And on the front they have Idris Elba and what's her name? Can you look? What's her name?
I can't see.
Charlize Theron.
Oh, Charlize Theron.
And for instance, Charlize Theron just did a film called Atomic Blonde. Despite what you were looking for from that film, it's an espionage film. You could go however where you wanted to with that. You know, Atomic Blonde could go on for like 15 films. Same with Luther. If you're going to do a bunch of a film series of Luther, that could go on for as long as it could go on for, and someone else could be Luther as. It depends what you want to do with that franchise. But all I'm saying is that I don't think Bond needs to be more than what he is already.
Yeah.
Just keep making good Bond films, and that's all you need. Yeah. I don't think Bond needs to be a woman or anyone different.
Yeah.
Than what he is now, and so that's all I was saying about that. Just create new IPs in that same universe with different characters having their own films, and so they were going to do that with what's her name? Halle Berry's character.
Yeah, they were going to do a Jinx spin-off, but then they rebooted it in the end.
Yeah,
so.
And so this is what I mean. Just go that route. Just if you want to create a universe with a Bond universe, they can mine that to death. So yeah, go with that. Which brings me on to you've seen this film and you really liked it. The Bright sequel.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Bright. Yeah, despite critics saying it was crap, but a lot of people felt the same. By the looks of it, and they've greenlit a sequel. So yeah, good on them. Yeah, that's about it. I don't really have a lot to say other than, yay, Bright 2. Bring it. I don't know, for those that haven't seen Bright, check it out on Netflix. It's really good. What I liked about it was that it was just an original take on a buddy cop thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it has the cliches that we've seen before, but, you know, it's set in a fantasy world. You got Will Smith and an orc.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But yeah, it's quite deep, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, like, is it John Landis' son? I forgot his name. What's his name?
Max Landis.
Max Landis. He wrote it, and it's very much a Max Landis kind of film. But yeah, a sequel, I'm up for that. I don't think Max Landis is behind the sequel though. I think David Ayer is writing the sequel, which makes me think, let's, you know, we'll have to see how that turns out, because I just found that it had Max Landis' fingerprints written all over it, if that makes sense. If you know any of his work, check out Dirk Gently's Hostile Detective Agency. That, if you've ever seen that, it's very much that kind of wit,
right?
That kind of humour in there, and yeah.
Okay. I've never seen it. That's Bright, that is. I've not seen it, and I don't really have the struggle to want to see it. I don't. Sorry, the struggle is the wrong term. I don't have the urge to see it. There's nothing about it that I want to see. But that's just me. Do you think this is a film that could have done well in a theatre?
You know what? I'm not too sure, because yeah, you got Will Smith's names plastered over it, but I don't think it's the kind of film that studios would have greenlit straight away. Mainly because, one, you're dealing with fantasy and stuff, so you need quite a big-ish kind of budget. Two, because of it being as different as it is, you know, it's not an IP, you know, it's not a big IP, etc. You know what I mean? So that if it was done through the normal Hollywood system, it would have cost about 200 million. You know what I mean? Straight away, for kind of thing. I think the fact that Netflix was a platform that would allow them to make this movie on the modest budget kind of worked out for them. So I think in terms of getting it made, it's kind of worked out,
right?
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. You're not into live action Akira. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna spend a short time on this, but the live action Akira. Oh, right. They're using the same production designers as this forthcoming Predator film.
Okay.
So it looks like there's some progress in this Akira film, which I still, if it's Taika Waititi's Akira, I'm all game for that. If it's anyone else's, I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, but I agree with you there. I mean, Taika Waititi, he expressed an interest in how he would do it, and that kind of made me interested a little bit. Yeah,
he's the only one that's really got me in. Oh, okay, this would be good, because I think he understands. One, I think he's a fan of the material, and he knows how to do it in the way where it could still be itself and not be set in New York or something like that. So I'm more prone to his vision of what that is. Whatever's going on there at Warner Brothers, I hope they do it well. Lindsay Lohan wants to play Batgirl. Good luck to her.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not against it. Look, here's the thing. Girl can act. Whether she can show up to work on time and sober is another thing. And look, she's done quite a few memorable performances on film, kind of thing. I mean, look, Mean Girls. A lot of guys are gonna be like, "Fucking Mean Girls is a boss film. It's jokes." She does well in that film, and Herbie was just Herbie. I mean, There was some movie that Emilio Estevez did with her in.
He did?
Yeah. It was based on President Kennedy's assassination.
Oh, right, and there's multiple stories going on.
That's right, and Sharon Stone's in it, and yeah. Just trying to remember the name of the film.
I can't help you with that one.
Yeah. But there is a film. What is the film called? It's called Bobby.
Bobby, okay.
Because it's President Kennedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bobby, she was fantastic in that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And, you know, there's been a few other films as well. But, you know, with her, it's more a case of her social life and, whatnot that has dragged her through the mud, so to speak, you know? And, like, while she was at the top of her game, the other films that she's chosen to be in haven't exactly done well or whatnot. So, you know, give an ex-alcoholic a chance. We all did for Robert Downey Jr. and he's laughing now. So you never know. It could be a redemption story for her if she was Batgirl. I wouldn't. If they said she was the next. If they said she was Batgirl, I wouldn't really care less. I'd just be like, cool, as long as it was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the same time, I do think this presents an opportunity for an unknown or an up-and-coming person to come and take the lead as Batgirl, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of what Josh Whedon wants to do with that, provided that it's still him directing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about? Spider-Man Homecoming sequel?
I don't really know that much about it other than it's coming.
Yeah.
In that case, of course I want to see a Spider-Man sequel. Come on, man.
Yeah, I've not talked to you about this yet on the podcast. Do you know the you don't like the Spider-Verse trailer, did you? You didn't like it?
I like the art style.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a badly put together trailer. In terms of it being a trailer,
right.
I just don't understand why this thing's being made. Like literally, that's all it is. Same as any other Spider-Man fan. But the trailer wasn't a bad trailer for what it was. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool to me. I like the animation style. It doesn't necessarily have to be connected to anything.
Yeah, I like the visuals.
Yeah.
The visuals look cool, especially when he's like falling from the city.
Mm-hmm.
That shot looked wicked. I wish that was in a live-action Spider-Man movie. That shot. But yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, like, oh look, who is Miles Morales talking to? That's blatantly Peter Parker. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
But is it though?
Well, they're talking about Spider-Verse, so there must be all different types of Spider-Man. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Okay, alright. Baby Driver.
Did you ever hear about the petition that people want Andrew Garfield back as Peter Parker for that animated movie?
No, why? Why would they want him back?
Because they just want like Spider-Man to play him, isn't it? So,
dude, guys, it's over. It's done. It's done. It's over. Yeah, don't worry about it, guys. It's over. It's done. It's over. Okay, so yeah, this is what I want to talk to you about. So Logan has got a lot of award nominations for its script and its screenplay. You don't like this film, do you?
Look, all right, it's up for award seasons. What's it up for? Script and screenplay.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate Logan. I'm one of the few that does. I actually despise this movie. But you know what? I won't rob it from fantastic, and I will say Oscar-worthy performances from both Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I like about the damn movie. Those two.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, and the little girl. She was great too. I wasn't too hot on the story. Sorry, just really wasn't too hot on the story. The script wasn't a bad script. The dialogue that was coming out of people's mouths was not my problem with the movie. The direction of where they took the story was my problem with the movie. I didn't like the way he died. I didn't like the antagonist at the end. X-24. Dumb, stupid. In my opinion, dumb and stupid. I'm wrong, of course.
No.
I gotta say this.
It doesn't mean that you're.
I've been told I'm wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, it doesn't mean that you're wrong.
This is just this is just my opinion. I was not excited about Hugh Jackman fighting himself at all. I've seen Superman 3.
Spoilers.
It was in the 80s.
Spoilers, by the way.
It wasn't as good as Superman 2 and Superman 1, and neither is this. It's like, come on, man. It just for me, it just felt like a cheap cop-out. You know? Obviously, they needed something for him to go up against, but I felt in that first act, who was the villain again? The guy that looks like fucking...
It was William Stryker's son.
Was it William Stryker's son?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
All right.
It wasn't William Stryker's son. Because he was...
he was the scientist that came up with all the... that mutagen stuff. I call it mutagen.
He wasn't Stryker's son.
It was Stryker's son.
He's not William Stryker's son.
Right, okay.
What's his name? I've got the list now. He was... What was the actor called again?
You talking about the guy with the mechanical hand?
Yeah, that's who I'm talking
about. I wasn't talking about him.
Oh, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the doctor.
What, Dr. Rice?
Is that his name?
That's his name.
Okay. Isn't he not William Stryker's son?
No.
You sure?
100%.
You sure?
Yeah, 1,000%.
You sure?
I'm looking at IMDb. It says Dr. Rice.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Okay.
Okay. William Stryker's son's called something else, but his surname's not Rice because he'd be called Dr. Stryker. Just saying. Unless, like, he personally changed his name to his mother's maiden name, which ain't in any law ever.
Yeah, but this isn't. They've changed the law. This is supposed to be old Logan.
It's not William Stryker's son. They've never said that in the context of the Logan movie. You just assumed it.
No, I've not assumed anything. This is what I heard. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I will admit if I'm wrong, but I don't know.
Did you hear that in the context of the information that was given to you while you were watching
I heard it in the film.
You heard it in the film?
Yeah.
It's not in the film, dude.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Okay.
But as of now, there's no proof to... You're not proving me wrong. You're just saying that I'm wrong.
Well, no, Dr. Rice is not William Stryker's son.
Okay, and that's not proof. Okay, you're saying he's not.
Right, okay. Well, anyway... Regardless of that, that group of people with the guy with the mechanical arm and stuff? Well, the guy with the mechanical arm, make that arm adamantium. You know what I mean? Make their weaponry adamantium, for fuck's sake. These guys are hunting mutants, and more importantly, they're hunting him. You know what I mean? They all had normal weapons. They're all ill-equipped to go hunt the Wolverine.
Well, they weren't hunting him, they were hunting X-23.
Well, they were still ill-equipped because she has adamantium in her. You know what I mean? Or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they're all ill-equipped. And, yeah, they knew they were going to have to face him at some point. Okay? So, they're all ill-equipped. These guys are mutant hunters. Okay? And...
I'm guessing adamantium's hard to come by.
Well, then they shouldn't be doing their job then, should they? It's an easy fix. As a writer, it's an easy fix. You know what I mean? Adamantium. Okay, they're a team that deal with mutants as a mutant threat. Okay, all of their equipment is going to be adamantium based. That way, we come across knives and claws and shit, we got our own shit. You know what I mean? Done. So that way the threat level against the, against... our leads, our people we care about, are a bit higher.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I've got all of that. If you want to get a villain, to go up against Wolverine so we can have a one-on-one fight, other than the dude with the mechanical arm, which I think is kind of powerful enough. You know what I mean? Give him a weapon or something and as well as his mechanical arm, he could get into a fight with the Wolverine. You know, well, okay, he's mortal, maybe not, but if you want that healing factor, whatever, I mean, like, hell, make him have a healing factor. He's a made-up character anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think that was the point of that film. I think...
No, but I'm talking about an adversary against the Wolverine.
Right.
Okay? Rather than X-24. You could have went into Omega Red or Sabretooth again or something else. Anything else other than that. I just thought it was right. And then when they killed Xavier, it just felt cheap. It was the first thing that was going to happen.
No, I really liked.
I didn't.
I enjoyed that. Not enjoy it in the sense that it's because it was misdirection. I enjoyed the film.
Yeah, that's fine. You're allowed to. I'm allowed to hate on it. But you did ask what I didn't like about it, and these were the fundamental things I didn't like about it. I didn't like X-24. I thought it was a cheap cop out. I just thought it was lazy storytelling there. You know, adamantium that he's always had being the same thing that kills him. I can buy it a little bit, but at the same time, it's again lazy writing. That's just me personally. Okay, I just personally felt that was lazy writing. It was like, shit, he needs to have an illness because he's powerful anyway, so we've got to make him weak. Alright, cool, how are we going to do that? Okay, well, we did this in the last movie, so we got to do it again. You know what I mean? I can see they're trying to make the stakes higher, but, you know, I just suggested another way to make it cooler by making our bad guys, you know, having a different way of fighting him. And the fact there's loads of them, you know what I mean? With adamantium armor, like, okay, that's not in the film, but my idea, you know what I mean? They have the tools to go hunt him. You know what I mean? It's like a group of sheriffs after Rambo. Rambo's a killing machine, and he can take all of them one by one, but together they're a fist. Together they can fucking take him out, or have a chance at taking Rambo out. You know what I mean? This is the Wolverine. If you're gonna outnumber him, give him the fucking equipment. You know what I mean? Hell, they didn't even need Sabretooth or another villain or an X-24. Just have it with that guy with the metal arm being the antagonist. You know what I mean? Because he's the leader of this group. And there you go, you got Rambo. You got the sheriff versus Rambo. You don't need the extra, because Wolverine's got to fight. You don't need that. You just need these group of people after him, Laura, Professor X, bam. And automatically it's a better movie. That just felt cheap and added in just because they wanted a fight scene. And that's what annoyed me. It was cheap, you know? And like, there are a billion ways a normal mortal man can like have the Wolverine. Punisher has a whole comic dedicated to it. He's just a dude, just shoot him in his nuts. Drops to the floor. It'll take a while to grow him back. And then fucking plant a bloody steamroller on top of him.
Well, that defeats your point in saying that these guys should be all adamantium. If you can just do that to Wolverine, then...
Well, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, look, there are options in your writing, in your trying to get the plot from A to B. There's loads of stuff they could have done. I felt the bit where they sat down with the family having a meal with these random strangers that, you know, was really cliche. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I felt, look, fair enough, they needed a moment where they needed to be together so Xavier could be at peace. I get that, okay? But I just think the way they went about it was just so cliche and so like, oh my god, really? What? Because it served no purpose to the story. You know what I mean? If you're telling a story, you can't have randoms in. Everything has to make sense. Everything has to have a reason to drive that story. And Wolverine just had random shit. And that's my problem. And it's up for best screenplay? Get the fuck out. I'll agree with best performances, but script and screenplay,
well, okay, so if it
but
went...
it had a great opening, it had a great first act. You know, for me it fell apart in the middle. You know, completely. Wow, I never realised how much I didn't like this movie. Well,
yeah, hence why I asked the question.
But like, I know that I had that much to say about this. The other thing is, though, I haven't watched the movie since release, so I I'm trying to remember stuff, if you know what I mean, to make my points and stuff. I just really didn't like this movie. I really didn't. But those would be why, because like I just felt some certain story beats weren't that great. Weren't logistically not that great. It's not okay. It's not even the fact that I wasn't getting Old Man Logan, which we were promised, but we got a version of it. But do you know what I mean? We didn't get anything that resembled that promise. You know what I mean?
You didn't get anything.
No, I didn't. But that's what we were promised. You know what I mean?
See,
and
for me, who knows nothing about that.
Yeah.
It was fine for me.
Yeah, that's great. But
but I think this is
when you're marketing a film, don't say one thing.
But it didn't.
But no, they did.
In none of those trailers did it say it was.
The trailers. I'm talking about the director and the star whilst making the film.
Yeah, but he was old.
Yeah, but that's not what. Look.
I'm going for the basic minimum here. I'm not going for the intricacies that you're going for.
They said they wanted to do something in vein of Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
That's not what they gave us. They also said they wanted something that was very much like Unforgiven. Okay?
Right.
Now, Old Man Logan is Unforgiven. Okay? More or less. That film... Yeah, although it shared a very visceral kind of world like a Western, it wasn't Unforgiven. You know?
Right.
I just really, really don't know what that movie was I saw.
You just don't like the film.
No, but like, if you're telling me, if you, Hugh Jackman, and you...
the director?
James Mangold, tell me, being on a podcast where we look at movie news all the time and even talk about, oh, this is what James Mangold said about Logan. Oh, he referenced Old Man Logan. Oh, he said, it's going to be kind of like in vein of Unforgiven. Great film if you haven't seen it, kids. I didn't get any of that vibe from this movie, other than the look, if that makes sense.
Right.
The way it was, if that's what they meant, then fine. But I didn't feel it had story beats from either of those.
I don't think it was supposed to.
No, but don't reference those two source materials as your go-to source. You know what I mean? Don't do that, because people that know those two sources are going to expect a different kind of movie.
Sure, but this is a film that made nearly 700 million. I can't see that people were... I know comic book fans were upset about this film.
Yeah,
but,
we should be.
But the general audience loved it.
But that's great. That's great. That's great, you general audience, yeah? But you're making a comic book movie, for fuck's sake. We're your core base. We are your core base.
Not really.
No,
they're not.
Okay,
everyone's their core base.
No, that's who they're trying to make it for.
Right.
All right, that's different. Core base are people that have known about Logan from day one. Okay.
Sure, but that core base is like 1% of the audience.
That's not. No, the audience have grown.
Yeah, but you just argued to me that the core base is the comic book fans, and that's 1% of the audience. The entire audience is their core base. Everyone that knows about who Hugh Jackman is and who Patrick Stewart is that's for everyone.
My point is, just don't reference those two things as a source material.
Sure.
If you're going to sell me something, if you're going to sell me if you're going to sell me something, tell me exactly for fact what it's going to be. Don't give me something and have me expect something else. Don't. If you're going to sell me a Big Mac meal, don't get my fucking fries and my Coke. You just give me the Big Mac. That's not what I ordered.
Sure, okay? But everyone else likes that meal.
That's great. You enjoy your Big Mac. I wanted my milkshake.
Dude,
I wanted my Coke. I wanted my fucking fries.
Gotcha.
Okay?
But you're one out of 800 people that liked
Then why
the
ask
meal.
my opinion on this movie, Joe?
No, I
don't even want to talk about this movie.
It's a debate, man. It's a debate, and it's interesting. It's an interesting debate. It's a back and forward that we're having. I'm telling you why I like it, and you're telling me why you hate it. I'm not saying you're wrong. You're wrong about it. It's just a debate, dude. It's all good.
It just feels like you're saying I'm wrong.
I'm not. I'm debating with you. The whole structure of my argument is to that. Hey, man, there's all these bunch of people over here. You're telling me why you don't like it, and I'm just giving you the counter argument to that.
Yeah.
I accept why you don't like it, but I'm just. Again, I'm trying to be devil's advocate and put the person that likes the movie and trying to draw a line through. Okay, you don't like the movie. I know why you don't like the movie, but this is why other people like the movie, as opposed to.
I get that, but the thing that I'm trying to make out is those two things, those two things that were told to us. Okay. Is why I don't like that.
You didn't get what you were told.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get that.
And then I think I got my wires crossed from what you were trying to say, Joe, because you kept twisting it. Like
no, again, I was trying to drum up the conversation because we're going into an interesting place with it, and we got a whole 20 minutes out of it.
Oh, okay.
I just like doing things like that because I knew you didn't like the film, and because it was up for its nomination, I just wanted to see what.
Yeah, I just think the certain story elements sucked, and just didn't like it. Didn't like it. The other thing I might add, a lot of people when they say they like it, they're like, oh my god, but it had all the score and stuff. When you look at the movie, it looks like the gore is an afterthought rather than it was filmed that way to be an 18. Okay? In the 80s when they made film, they just did it. You know what I mean? They just did it. They didn't strategically go, okay, we'll put CGI in later. They just did it with, proper
prosthetics and
stuff.
makeup. And
so it looked genuine, like it was there. You know what I mean? When someone got their, like, I don't know, kidney ripped out, you saw something there. You know what I mean? In a horror movie, etc. This was all digital.
It wasn't all digital.
There was a lot that was digital.
Yeah, but you can say that about every film, man.
But all I'm trying to say is there was not a moment in there where it was like raw. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, for me, in terms of blood and guts. I remember watching Predator, and when Predator rips out the guy's spine, you're like, shit. You know what I mean? Because that's what those kind of movies, or that kind of movie, did to you when you watch them. You're like, shit, what the fuck? I think with stuff now, when they try and make it an R, they just do it. For the sake of.
I've got no problem with the violence in Logan's per se.
Yeah.
In the sense, I didn't. That's not why I went to go watch it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
I love the violence in that. It's like, whoa, Hugh Jackman's going all out in this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And in the sense that I'd never seen Wolverine do that in the film verse.
Oh yeah,
It was, whoa! It was eye opener to what they could do. I mean, even with what's the Deadpool?
Yeah.
The violence in that is a little bit over the top, but it's you get it, and seeing, because Deadpool's the first time you've seen him on screen, it's like, oh, okay, you accept the violence is the way it is because it's Deadpool. With Logan, you've gone through all of these films, seeing him kind of use his adamantium claws, but not. And then when you see him use it, I think that's what more people were mesmerised by, the fact that he was actually using them as opposed to cutting away to something else.
Yeah.
And again, you could even with Blade Runner, nearly everything in that was practical, but on the other spectrum of that, there's a lot of digital work.
Oh yeah, totally.
And so I don't think there's ever going to be an argument where the practical has to complement the digital and vice versa.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a different argument entirely in that vein.
you know, I didn't hate it because of that. It's just, you know, all I'm trying to say is there's a lot of people that just like it because it's violent. You know what I mean? That because they've never seen violence on that level before. For someone that has, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't really stand out to me as much as it did to other people. You know what I mean? That's the point I was trying to make. You know what I mean? Like ideally, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just didn't like fuck Logan.
Fair enough.
That's my short version, okay? My short version is fuck Logan, didn't like it. Cool story, Hugh.
Hugh?
Jackman.
Oh, Hugh Jackman.
Hey, he made loads of money. I still like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and I hope he continues a very long career as the Wolverine in the MCU in the next 18 months.
Okay, on the other end of the spectrum, it's brought comic book movies into a more interesting conversation of comic book films being up for awards.
Yeah.
And if that's even though you don't like the film, it's that film is pushed. It's made a conversation now. So hey, these films are actually they have a narrative.
Yeah, I'll agree with you with that. I mean, like, look, just because I personally didn't like it, doesn't mean I'm gonna badmouth certain areas of it. I mean, let's look at what you just said. Yeah, totally. I think that is really good that it's been able to do that and generate that kind of interest. But yeah.
Well, again, we'll see what happens in the future. What other films like we'll see if Wonder Woman is up for any awards or anything like that, or in this next cycle of films that come out, if those films will be up for awards.
Do you think Wonder Woman deserves to have an award?
Not really.
Okay.
It's good for a first origin story for Wonder Woman, but it's no Superman the movie.
Oh yeah, of course.
It takes a lot of traits from that film.
Oh yeah, it does. Even one scene for scene. But
yeah.
I kind of like that moment in the movie. I thought that was one of the best bits.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not a bad movie. In terms of how Gal Gadot plays the character, it's Gal Gadot, however she pronounces her name. She played. I believe she's Wonder Woman, and that's the point. I think of that film. She's Wonder Woman. I can't really see anyone else now playing that character, and I think that's what Christopher Reeves did with Superman. It's like, whoa, this guy's so good at Superman that even now, it's very hard to flick that version of Superman from my head because he played it so well. He's the most convincing actor to play Superman and Clark Kent, and now Gal Gadot has taken that as for Wonder Woman. But in terms of it winning awards, maybe costume, because all the World War I stuff was pretty cool, and that's about it really. I don't know what the conversation will be next Oscars or when the award season comes up, but Logan's pushed things into the stratosphere with what could be said. Oh yeah, I didn't talk to you about before we wrap up. Battle Angel. What did you make of the look?
Oh, I've discussed this in like 2 podcasts now.
Yeah, I haven't discussed it with you.
Oh, you haven't discussed it with me?
No.
I think it's a piece of shit, Joe.
Oh really?
No, I don't. I think this is actually one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I can't wait to see this movie. I love the look. They've made her faithful to the anime, to the comic, with the big eyes and stuff. I know that might be distracting to an audience viewer at first, but what you've got to understand is they've made it part of the aesthetic to the robot.
Yeah, she looks like a robot,
and she is a robot. They're not trying to disguise that in this movie.
Yeah,
they don't in the actual universe. She's not supposed to.
She's a robot.
She's just a robot. She's not even supposed to be something that's there to infiltrate shit. She's a robot. They've incorporated that into a look, into the aesthetic. to show, look, she's not human, she's a robot. And I love it. I think it looks great. I like the casting. Funnily enough, I watched the 2 episodes of the anime that only ever got made recently. I saw it years ago as well.
Oh, you mean the OVA? Yeah, I mean, manga released it as a film, but yeah, it's essentially 2 episodes.
It's 2 episodes. But yeah, you know, it's very faithful. It's very faithful to those 2 episodes. You know, and what's really cool is that we're going to go beyond those 2 episodes, because a lot of people have this. Will you understand? This IP, this is very niche. A lot of anime fans have not seen this movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised by that.
A lot of people didn't even know it was anime and now everyone's watching those 2 episodes trying to become fucking masters at Battle Angel Alita just so that they can hate on it because they're idiots. Look, this is going to adapt the manga and go past those 2 episodes, and I can't wait to see what they do and how they finish the story in this movie. Personally, and the other thing, this is directed by Robert Rodriguez, and you know what? This is the most Robert Rodriguez looking movie I've seen in terms of the style, and it's amazing. And that's probably because he's borrowed a lot of Cameron's ideas for this. Yeah,
well, I'm guessing it was Cameron did a lot. Yeah, because he's been wanting to make this for 15 years.
Yeah, well, that's just it, and I've been looking forward to this movie for 15 years. Yeah. And that's why it's on my most anticipated list, because when I heard that James Cameron was doing the Battle Angel Alita movie all those years ago, I was like, fuck, I really want to see this film. And now it's coming to fruition with one of my favourite directors. You know, he's had some bad shtick over the past couple of years, but this could be his comeback, man. Mainly because he's working with a grandmaster, and it just really looks like a good amalgamation of two great creative minds here. I mean, James Cameron, funnily enough, he doesn't give shit willy-nilly. He gave Robert Rodriguez the gig because he's that passionate about Battle Angel. How this came to get made, I don't know whether you know about this, Joe, but Robert Rodriguez is a huge Battle Angel fan. He was really looking forward to the movie that James Cameron was going to make. And at a press event or an event that required both of them to be at, it came up in conversation. He spoke to James Cameron, was like, when are you making this? I've been waiting for this movie for XYZ amount of years. James Cameron was like, come to my office. So I went to his office and met up with James Cameron. James Cameron basically gave him the script and showed him around everything that he's made for Battle Angel. He goes, do you want to make it? Because he doesn't have time to make it. He's like, it's yours if you can finish the script. Because Rodriguez, or James Cameron wrote 3/4 of the script, and Robert Rodriguez finished it off. So it's gonna be great, man. I think it's gonna be fucking great.
I've got every faith in it, because it doesn't even feel like a Robert Rodriguez film.
And even if you know what, it just looks good.
And I don't mean that in a derogatory term, in the sense that Robert Rodriguez is a bad director. It feels like a James Cameron film, but with a different director.
Yeah, it looks like he's taken a next step.
Yeah.
In terms of what he's done visually before. Look, last time he did something like this was Sin City 1. You know what I mean? Because Sin City 1 is out of this world compared to his other stuff, you know? And one thing I will say about Robert Rodriguez, he's very collaborative, and he's very much about keeping stuff to the source material. And if it's not his, he'll credit that other person, hence Frank Miller with Sin City.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that he's not done a Marvel film. You know what I mean? Because I could see him being very collaborative in that universe.
Yeah.
I think we were robbed of him doing Deadpool, to be quite honest, because he was one of the first people offered it. But he turned it down because there was so much stuff that he was doing, or that he wanted to do, and Battle Angel was one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That he was like, look, I like Deadpool and all, but you guys have got this covered, you know? we'll see. I'm looking forward to Battle Angel. I think it's going to be amazing. I've bored you guys about this on 3 podcasts now. So you got 3 podcasts of me being very passionate about Battle Angel Alita, but you've also got me being very derogatory on fucking Logan. So
well, no, it's
yeah.
I saw a unique position there where one person liked it and the other person didn't.
Oh, okay.
And the amount of money it made, I just wanted to get your insight onto its award. It going into award season, so yeah, it was just a tool for discussion really, and I think it came off pretty well. But yeah, one more thing before we go because we've kind of run over. Do you think? Okay, so Jennifer Lawrence is in this film called Red Sparrow. Which is she's like a
so it's the Black Widow movie, yeah?
This is exactly what I was going to ask you.
Oh, really? Okay.
You saw the trailer, right?
No, I haven't seen the trailer, but I watched Age of Ultron last night, and they were talking about Red Sparrow shit in there because she does exactly what Jennifer Lawrence does in this movie. So the minute you said that, I was like, oh yeah, the Black Widow movie.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the trailer to this a few months ago, and I remember thinking, wow, this could be a, again, like we were talking about the whole Bond thing. This could be a franchise for her.
Oh yeah, it could.
That could take her way out of her X-Men. Because she clearly doesn't want to be an X-Men anymore.
Oh yeah, of course. She's only in there she's only just figured out how to play the game.
Yeah.
I say that because, with what was the last one? Apocalypse. She was just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm never coming back. Blah 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 blah.
And now she's in this next one.
Yeah. Well, this is just it. There were no Hungry Games anymore, and I think she realised real quick, shit, I need X-Men. You know what I mean? Like this could be her third kind of thing if it does well and if it's good, etc. But there's lots of ifs.
Mm-hmm.
But just wear the damn blue makeup. In fact, you know what? I don't even care if she does or if she doesn't. To be quite honest.
No, she does wear the makeup. She's blue in the next section.
No, but I mean in general. I mean, like, look, okay. I'm done with Mystique anyway now. I think everyone is, and like, even if she doesn't come back, no one cares.
I mean, as a character, I still do like Mystique, but in terms of Jennifer Lawrence playing her, I think they should maybe as this whole Disney thing has come apparent now, that they should do some little recastings here or there, or I mean, because the girl that plays Storm, I don't know her name, but she's good.
Yeah, she's
really good as Storm. So yeah, I'll say that much anyway. But this Red Sparrow film, it looks really interesting. I like the look of it. I like the aesthetic. It's not John Wick, but it's and again, I don't mean that in not that John Wick is the be all and end all thing, but ever since John Wick raised the bar of what you can do in these types of films, everyone's been trying to do that. It's essentially the new bullet time. Everyone's been, hey, we've got to do that. We've got to keep the camera on these shots a lot longer. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. Just like John Wick, and it's the new bullet time. And so I didn't see that in this trailer. So they're going their own way about it, and I do like that. But it looks badass. I'm interested. And on that note, is there any? What,
I was going to say, what did you think of the new Death Wish trailer?
It depends if Bruce Willis shows up or not.
Fair enough. You know what? I was watching Death Wish 3.
Oh dear.
Oh no! You know what? I love that movie, man. Yeah. Okay. Look. Death Wish went from being really gritty to really comical.
Yeah.
Now you got to understand, as comical as it is, there's some golden moments in the later Death Wishes that make me laugh out loud. One such thing, you've got there's this bit where him and his buddy they're in an apartment. And the guy comes in with a gun and he points the gun at him, and his buddy what's it? His buddy goes for his gun, so he draws it on his buddy because he thinks he's unarmed.
It's a Mexican standoff.
Yeah, it's a Mexican standoff, and then it's kind of like the guy's like, "You can't shoot me, bulletproof, bitch. I'm bulletproof." And then fucking my man just whoops out a fucking rocket launcher
and he blows him up. Yeah.
And it's just the way, it's you know what, it's just the way that scene is constructed. The comic timing is on point, and it's everything I want from an action movie. You know what I mean? Like, look, say what you want about Death Wish 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many they made. They just got funnier and funnier. Like fair enough. Like, how many times? Just don't be friends with Charles Bronson, man. Ideally, doesn't like, what was it? His wife and daughter got killed, or no? They both got raped, but the wife got killed. And then the second one was like his brother got killed, or like something. You know,
I can't remember. It's been such a long time since I've seen those movies.
You know. Anyway, if you just know Charles Bronson, just don't be friends with him, man. But like, my only thing with Death Wish is that, like you said, Bruce Willis's casting has kind of put me off it a little bit because, like you said, are we going to get old Bruce Willis or whatnot? But it's not even that. I just think Bruce Willis has forever done action movies that it's kind of a standard thing. Like, you know when Taken came out and it was Liam Neeson, and we were like, holy shit, Liam Neeson. We needed that kind of vibe with this film, I think. We needed to get someone that either hasn't done action in a really long time, or someone that doesn't do action at all in this role. That's just my two. I don't know, if you got Hugh Grant, okay, maybe not Hugh Grant, but do you know what I mean? Like just like that Liam Neeson from Taken kind of thing. Like, if we're talking about someone that hasn't done an action movie of that type in a long time, I would have easily said Harrison Ford, mainly because we're too used to seeing him as Han Solo and Deckard and
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones is, it's been 10 years since the last one. But I mean, like, do you know what I mean? He hasn't done like a normal present day actioner, if you know what I mean, nor an 18. You know what I mean? So I just think that would have been like a different gear for something like him. You know, he's done it when he was young.
Present Danger?
Yeah, but that was when he was young. But that wasn't a revenge film. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was more like a espionage.
Political, yeah.
So I think Harrison Ford would have been someone that I would have championed. Someone else I would have championed. Maybe someone like that's never done a movie like this. Maybe Andy Garcia. But just throwing out names of like old people that haven't been on the screen in a long time. There are loads of actors. I just can't think of them straight away.
Hugh Jackman.
You know what? Patrick Stewart.
I can't see it.
Yeah, I know, but that's why.
I'm not sure if I would watch that film.
You wouldn't watch that film?
I probably would, just for curiosity.
But exactly. Or Ian McKellen.
No, I definitely couldn't see that. Hello, old boy, I'm going to kill you now.
I'm going to kill you now. I don't know. Someone in that... Jeremy Irons, then.
No.
No?
He's tried.
He's tried?
He tried with that fantasy film. He tried with the Batman films.
He wasn't mad in Batman.
As a bad guy.
Oh, as a bad guy?
Oh, no. Okay, I see what you're going with this now. In that case, yeah, maybe. Why not Jeremy Irons?
Yeah, why not Jeremy Irons? I don't know. Who hasn't done anything in a long time?
I don't know, but we can't think about it now because we're going over. So, is there anything else that you want to talk about?
So, the IT producer is now the head of DC Films.
Ha!
So let me get this straight. Every time a movie doesn't do well for them, they change the head of production. Before, like, bear in mind, Jeff Jones had nothing really to do with Justice League.
Well,
he hadn't even made this stamp, but got all the blame for it.
Well, it just shows you what Warner Brothers are doing with. I mean, they own all their IPs, so I don't see where the problem lies.
Yeah, I know, right?
But
You'd think they'd be slam dunking Marvel by now.
Well, no, they just don't have a clear plan. I mean, Kevin Feige had a clear plan from date dot. And
By
so,
the sounds of it, he had a clear plan from X-Men 1.
yeah, well, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
If you have a clear plan of what you're doing, and that's where the gold is that he has a map, and these Warner Brothers was playing catch up, and that was a mistake from the get go.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into this again, but they just played it. They played the game the wrong way, and as a film fan and not anything else, I've lost interest in those movies. I don't even want to see Aquaman because I'm just not. But I don't care.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be the case. They should make me care about Aquaman. And I care about Wonder Woman to a degree because I see where her arc has gone and what her character's like.
Would you watch Wonder Woman 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've said it's going to be kind of standalone. From
at this point, that's a given.
Yeah.
they need to do that. They need to walk away from that universe that they built. They need to walk miles from that. And so, if Wonder Woman's a standalone, Wonder Woman's the shining light at the moment. So, that's the way I would have gone with it. And is that it?
Yeah, that seems to be all on my end. But,
all right. I mean, there's lots of different bits and pieces to talk about, but we'll do that. We'll reconvene next week. And
what is your? Because you brought back Battle Angel, I haven't discussed this with you. Your thoughts on QT doing Star Trek?
Oh, I love the idea.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I love the idea. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I heard Neil hates the idea.
Oh yeah, Neil's like, whoa, no, I don't know, and he's a big Tarantino fan.
Yeah, so am I.
And
but to be honest, because Tarantino's a big fan of Star Trek, the Star Trek that I like. I mean, I like most of Star Trek.
Did you hear the audio conversation that sparked it all?
Yeah, you showed it to me.
Yeah,
you showed it to me. But again, going from what I'm saying, because he's a fan, he knows that universe quite intricately, and I think what he brings to that will reignite, because it needs another reignition. JJ did a good job with reintroducing it again, and then it kind of tapered off, and that because trust me, just by having Quentin Tarantino's name on that will just reignite that again. Everyone was going to want to see that. Everyone is going to want to see that a Quentin Tarantino Star Trek film.
Yeah.
Despite whether you hate the idea or like the idea, I think people want to see something like that. It's something that will. Oh wow, Quentin Tarantino! I need to see that. It just people won't necessarily want to know what the film's about. They're just, he's got his name on it. I want to go see it. And I think that's bankable, and I think that's what Star Trek needs. And so I completely disagree with Neil, but I guess Neil's the biggest Star Trek fan than me. I like the Star Trek films. I like the original Star Trek films because I like the cast of characters. They're all very. You want to know what they're getting up to, and that was the appeal of those original films. And JJ did that kind of with this reboot as well, but he added a bit. He made the world a little bit more relatable. But yeah, again, in saying that, I'm sure there's people that are going to hate the idea.
Yeah.
But
of course, yeah.
Just like I said,
but here's the thing: like, I'm not really the biggest Star Trek person, but it's made me interested to see this movie.
There you go.
And there's a lot of Quentin Tarantino fans that want to see the movie now.
Yeah,
that probably weren't into Star Trek before, so that can't be a bad thing.
No, it's not. Anything that shines a light on something that's either dying or that you weren't interested in before. I think that's a good way, especially for Paramount if they want to reignite this thing again and carry it on. That's one of the best ways to do it. I've got no problem with Tarantino, especially if he writes it. If he writes it, we're going to get some really interesting dialogue.
I don't think he's writing it. They've hired two writers to go write it.
Right.
And I think he will have an input on the dialogue. You know what I mean? Because I think he's concentrating on his own films, if that makes sense. Because do you know how this conversation got started?
Yeah, you showed me the video.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
If they're... Okay. Again, I think the only other person that can match him in dialogue is Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And because even in Red State, Kevin Smith wrote some really interesting dialogue, man. Friggin' hell. I think, to me, that's his most adult film, Red State. And he's proved it time and time again. He can write snappy dialogue for even parts of scenes that he hasn't got anything to do with the film, but he's just written parts for scenes. And so if they need someone that can write that type of dialogue, they should just get Kevin Smith in and deal with that. And so
he'd have like fucking a scene where Kirk's fucking banging an alien or something.
Yeah, probably.
That would crack me up. I'm sorry. It
probably.
would actually, I would die.
probably, man. But yeah, I've got no problem with it at all.
Yeah.
Did anyone else on the podcast?
I think just Neil. I don't think Leo's too hot on it either. But I can't remember what Leo said, to be fair. But
Neil said he doesn't want that to be his last film. Well, it's not, because he's not directing it. So it's...
No, he's directing it.
Tarantino?
Yeah.
Oh, well, fair enough.
He's directing
okay.
it. But that's ultimately why I said, did you listen to the thing that I sent you?
You mean the podcast?
Yeah, the podcast. No, not our podcast, but
okay.
The thing where this all stemmed up from.
Yeah, there was like a whole 3 parts where he's talking about something and then goes into Star Trek.
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen it.
So when he goes into Star Trek, they asked him, so you're retiring after 10 films. He said, is there anything that would make you...
Yeah, I know.
So basically, how he justified it is, if he did a tentpole movie, that's not technically a Quentin Tarantino movie. That's a Marvel movie. So if he was to do a Marvel movie, he won't.
It's not his. Yeah.
Yeah, he won't class it as part of the 10.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cheating. And then J.J. Abrams got on the phone and said, "Yo, Star Trek." You know what I mean? It's not part of the 10. Come, let's have the conversation. So,
yeah. Again, I see no problem with it.
And hey, anything that keeps Quentin Tarantino making movies is good in my book. So,
yeah. It's a shame he couldn't do his Vega Brothers film, but
I think that should be a video game. I think it should be a.
It was a video game.
I think what?
No. In the okay. Do you remember the Jamie Foxx and Thingy was supposed to be in the adaptation of that video game, but it was essentially I can't remember what the game was called, but there was these 2 guys. One was bald, one had the same hairstyle as Vincent Vega, and I can't remember what the game was called, but they were just a bunch of crooks, and I cannot remember the name of the game. I cannot remember the name of the game to save my life. But Jamie Foxx and we were just talking about him.
Bruce Willis.
John Bruce Willis. They were going to play the adaptation of that video game.
Right.
But if you go back into the way that video game was made, that they were supposed to be the Vega brothers in essence.
Right. Okay. I was just saying, just do like Grand Theft Auto as a DLC. Set in the 80s and they're on 5. That's not set in the 80s, but I don't know if they released Vice City and did a patch for that'd be a way to go. But
I guess. I really need to remember the name of that game. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna end it there because it's coming up to 2 hours now. So again, thank you very much for coming back and doing this again.
Me?
Yeah.
Me? Oh yeah. No
promote your videos. Go.
Yeah, oh right, yeah. Go check my videos online. On my YouTube page, Sacha Allari on YouTube, and just follow me on Twitter, Sashman3 on Twitter. Yeah,
and you can find everything you need to on with this podcast anyway, and the rest of the podcasts on at Zedos Gang. If you just put that into YouTube or Twitter, you'll find a string of stuff that, including this podcast, that you can listen to or just pass over if you want to. And that's it. Thank you, listeners, for listening, and thank you, Sach, for coming in. And this has been the Zedos Gang podcast, and we're out.